Am I the asshole for not preparing my pregnant wife food?
No. Did she ask? Is there more?
Yeah.
There's still the whole story.
It's called the title, Madison. This is not our first story.
I got so excited to comment.
My wife is 5 months pregnant and has started to feel hungry a lot. She is recovering from vomiting consistently, and now it's just once a week or two. We both work from home, and I try to do the majority of the household chores with cooking, cleaning, dishes, laundry, and breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc.
Wow.
Champion.
Although it's a small apartment and no kids yet, so it's not really that much work. And we typically just have milk and bread for breakfast, which I bring to her in bed. She helps with cooking whenever she's feeling good, and lately she has started to cook more than me. Otherwise, I cook the dinner with often some assistance from her, such as cutting up the vegetables. We save the dinner for lunch the next day. It's a good going most of the time. The problem is that my wife keeps complaining to me that she is hungry and I haven't fed her. I do offer her snacks like banana, fruits, and nuts, but she says she is looking for some real food because she is very hungry. When I ask her, what do you want me to make? She often doesn't have an answer and tells me she doesn't know, but she is hungry. If I offer to make something, say soup or boiled potatoes, she shoots it down for one reason or another, whether it's carbs or it's not good or it's too light or she's not too hungry, etc. This gets me visibly frustrated. Today, she agreed to a serving of watermelon, which I cut and served. While cutting it, I asked her to tell me what she wants to eat because she will start complaining in a while that she is hungry, and I can't immediately have something ready to eat because it takes preparation. She said she is good for a while and didn't entertain my question. Well, as predicted, when I visited her room in an hour or so after work, she started pouting that she is hungry and I didn't feed her anything since lunch throughout the day. This made me a bit angry because I did feed her the watermelon and some dry snacks. It just wasn't proper food. Moreover, I had asked her what to eat exactly for this reason, and she had refused to answer then. I told her she is expecting too much from me, both figuring out what to make and then make it. I asked her that she should at least take the responsibility of figuring out what she wants to eat and let me know in advance. She felt like I was invalidating her and then said, okay, I won't tell you anything from now on, as in pouting. I got annoyed and I left the room. Am I the asshole? Should this person be predicting?
Pregnant lady, do you want to comment?
What the pregnant lady wants to eat?
No, he's not an asshole. No. It's not anybody else's responsibility to take care of another adult. As a partner in pregnancy, because we are not pregnant, but you are a partner in the pregnancy, taking care of your spouse or your partner, whatever you want to say, is, very kind and generous. Now, the one thing I will very, very aggressively point to is when he was like, I'm asking her in advance. Why doesn't she know? Yeah, no, it doesn't actually kick in until it kicks in. You're like really full. And then all of a sudden you have like barely eaten and you've been starving for days. Or you're starving. You take one bite of food and you're so full that you have to run to the bathroom and like puke it up.
Well, I think I think. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is like he's trying to. It takes a while for him to get ready, so he's trying to have things ready for her before she gets hungry.
That's not.
Nobody knows.
Pregnancy is not logical. Chris has related me to a toddler, and it's so true. Like I am basically 3 years old. There's sometimes it's not logical with what my body is telling me that I need in the moment. And we eat a lot more fast food now because I don't want to wait when I want it. I get in the car, I go to Wendy's, I eat the Wendy's. I don't want to wait for a meal to be cooked. I don't want to wait. I have chicken strips in the freezer. I don't want to wait for the air fryer to turn on. I don't want to wait for them to cook. So I do understand that side of it from her. He is not an asshole though. He's just doing his best to keep up, and like kudos to him. Just keep trying.
Just got to ride the wave.
Just keep trying.
Yeah.
And she's not an asshole either. It's a really difficult thing, especially if it's their first. You have no control over what's happening on the inside.
Why are you outing me, Teresa?
Because you're breathing like this.
Sorry.
Wait, it might be me.
No, I think it's Denver. So nobody is an asshole. That's my opinion.
Nobody's an asshole.
In pregnancy and support, nobody is an asshole for just doing their best.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like he
Doesn't get many likes, but it's fair.
I think he was just trying.
The internet is not for nuance.
He was trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And you can't really get ahead of it.
Nope.
Yeah,
Like,
he's trying his best.
working
Poor
from
guy.
home, both of them working from home and like being around each other constantly, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like internet memes about like women, and it's like how I act when how pregnancy affects me when my husband's home versus when my husband's not home. And it's like when my husband's not home, it's like you're carrying everything, you're loading everything, you're making your own food. You're like, I got this. And then your husband's home and you're like, can you get my water? Pick it up. Pregnancy's so hard. So being like working both from home would be, I think, put a little bit more pressure on him to support her, because you do rely on somebody when they're there. Whereas if she went to work and had no choice but to like take care of herself, it might put a little bit more self-sufficiency even throughout pregnancy, and give both of them a break.
Yeah. No.
So there is an update. Here it is. Thanks everyone for responding to this post. While the majority of the not the asshole replies were reassuring to the read, the most helpful ones were the no assholes here's and everyone sucks here, and even some you the assholes. First things first, I feel I may have unintentionally cast my wife in a somewhat unfair light. She's far from the lazy, pampered princess some may have pictured. She is on her feet a fair bit, grabbing her own snacks, sipping water, and even tossing together some rice for our lunch now and then. She's really quite the team player around the house, always ready to lend a hand when she's feeling good. I often find myself encouraging her to kick back and rest. The real pickle here wasn't about her helping out or not, but about her leaning on me to sort out all of her meals. Reading all of your comments, I had a bit of a aha moment. She genuinely didn't know what she felt like eating.
Yeah.
And to be totally transparent, this food decision deadlock isn't a new game for us. Pre-pregnancy, we'd often volley the, no, you decide ball until one of us gives in. Now that we've got a baby on the way, I've realized it would be quite irresponsible for both of us to let her go hungry because she can't decide. While technically it's her responsibility to decide, I have taken up on following some advice here. So following some solid advice from this community, I snagged the Real Food for Pregnancy, the Science and Wisdom of Optimal Prenatal Nutrition. And it's been quite an eye-opener. I've shared the need-to-know parts with my wife, since reading makes her a tad nervous at the moment. We've come to realize that we've been pretty off track with our nutrition. I've told her we need to increase our protein consumption, and I've shared my plans on buying more meat and fish. I've also started following the advice of just giving her food without asking what she wants, and it actually works. Overall, I think this is making her feel that I care about her diet and her, and our relationship has improved. I also feel pretty good about our diet now. In a nutshell, we're making progress. She seems more at ease with our meal situation, and I'm feeling pretty good about getting our nutrition on track.
He sounds awesome.
He sounds like a 10 out of 10.
He
Really
sounds
great.
like he's really trying.
Yeah.
And like first baby is really hard to go through. I'll let you guys know how the second one works out, but like I'll let everybody know. You know, it's just really hard, and you have no idea.
No idea.
You have no idea, and your body is just throwing a curveball at you all the time. And so yeah, when he was saying like she didn't know, like, oh my God, she doesn't actually know what she wants to eat. Yeah, no, that's a real thing. And you don't know what's going to make you puke or not puke.
How many dinners did we throw out?
A lot, because
like, stuff that you love.
yeah,
Usually.
In the 4-month mark, I was getting so full by about like mid-afternoon that I couldn't eat dinner. And then when I get full, I get immediately nauseous. And that's still actually a fact. And you've watched me like halfway through lunch. The food's in my mouth. The bite before, amazing. That bite in my mouth, my stomach, my body's like, get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. And I sit there spitting into my napkin.
In a restaurant.
Because the moment I'm full, I have to stop eating. And it's just because everything's like all pushed and compressed. And so something's pushing on something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do not know until the moment. Like, yeah, you made one of my favorite like last meal on earth meal. Like when I was like 6 or 7 weeks pregnant, when Heather and Craig were here, like steak, potatoes, Caesar salad, shrimp cocktail, like the whole thing. I took one bite of the steak and spit it back out onto my plate and was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like at the beginning, like he's not really the asshole for not being able to predict what his wife wants to eat.
Of course, yeah.
But then but he goes above and beyond and says, you know what? I'm just gonna cook stuff and give it to her because she doesn't even know what she wants to eat. But maybe if I just put something in front of her, maybe she'll eat it, or there'll be food there and she won't feel like she's hungry. Like I'm just gonna step up my game and give her more food that I know she's willing to eat, and just put it there in front of her and take that decision off her plate. I think he's
Also good on him
an
for
angel.
researching some of that stuff too, because there's
Yeah.
like extra protein and calcium. Protein, yes, but like I didn't know, and your mom enlightened me that like calcium, because babies will take what babies need from your body. So if you don't have extra calcium, you'll be calcium deficient, and if you don't have extra iron, you'll be iron deficient. Your baby will be fine,
yeah.
but like the woman's body will not be so fine. So yeah, definitely some extra things to know at that point with nutrition.
For sure.
Do you want to make all of my meals? Just instead
I
of
already do that.
Instead of the 50%, you make 50% of my meals right now. You make dinner. Make dinner.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, you don't make all my
You
meals.
do. You do pack your lunches.
I make breakfast and my own lunch. You just make dinners. I can't cook, so that's why he makes dinner. But man, can I make peanut butter toast and a smoothie?
Smoothie was terrific this morning. Actually,
Can't keep it off the floor though.
I didn't know I spilled it. Okay, you know that's the one thing about not letting our dog in the kitchen.
Fred would have cleaned that up.
it is that one part that we're like, nope, stop.
He's not allowed behind
Out.
the island,
Out.
right? That's why the markers are there, so that he doesn't get like any dangerous between the stove
Yeah.
or tripped on. And that's where the honey I had dropped. So if we just let that rule go, he would have cleaned that right up.
That's funny.
Smart Fred.
All right, moving along. Teresa's turn.